Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Grounded Conversations. For those who are new here, I'm Liv. I hope you're all having an amazing week. Today's episode, as you can probably tell from the title, is called What is Self-Care? Like, what is it really? Because I think I've seen, on social media, every time we talk about it, all the terms around self-care seem quite, put in a box. And what actually is it really, and why does it really matter? Because I know a lot of the time it can feel like self-care is just taking a small break, buying yourself a bar of chocolate, but I've come to realise that there's actually a lot more to it, and it can be a lot harder than just the small things that we do see online. So I think a lot of the time on social media especially, it can feel like self-care is quite glamorized, and it can be like candlelit baths, luxury skincare, self-care books, and everything just perfectly laid out on on a marble coffee table, all perfectly set. And I think in reality, that's not what self-care looks like for a lot of us. And I think a lot of the time self-care can feel and seem quite performative or surface level, but there's actually a lot more to it than that. Because with the image of self-care being all these luxury things, I know for me especially, it can sometimes feel like you're failing at it if you don't have the time or money to make it seem like this luxury version that so many people aspire to have, especially through the versions of self-care we see online. And I think it turns self-care into a kind of product instead of a personal practice. Because at the end of the day, self-care is meant to be for you. And it's meant to make you feel great and make you feel just better about yourself in general. And I think a lot of the time that gets lost just trying to make self-care into this perfect image of what it should be, or foamy bubble baths with candlelit dinners and stuff like that. It's not always the case for a lot of us. So I wanted to talk about what self-care actually is and how we can kind of show self-care to ourselves in a more realistic way. Self-care, generally, a general definition, would be the ongoing practice of taking responsibility for your own physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. So let's write that down a bit. So physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. That's already quite a lot. And so physical health, obviously, probably the most easiest to explain, because it's just are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating well, exercising, drinking enough water, things like that? And I know for me as well, when it comes to eating well, it can be so hard when you see online all these people make these beautiful, gorgeous dinners. It's I don't have the time to do that in a realistic way. And I mean, I literally did it last night. I made a funny little story. I made overnight oats and I followed these recipes to make them cookie dough flavoured. I don't really know. And then I was talking to my friends about it and I was like, oh, I added more oats, it was too watery. And they're like, yeah, they're meant to be wet when you put them in the fridge. That's why you leave them overnight. And I was like, oh, but you know what? We've learnt a lesson. It's fine. It's all part of the process. But I know as well, for me, because it's going from not eating very well to eating all these different foods, because I'm a very, very picky eater, to the point I have a list of foods I need to try or retry, which, you know what, at least I'm trying to improve, so it's what it is. But I know it's hard to go from having your habits of having snacks all the time or eating things all the time, and then turning to see other people eating these foods you've probably never heard of, and you're just oh, am I meant to be doing that? Is that what health looks like? And I know one thing I want to find out is that if you see on social media people what I eat in a day, things like that, they don't have the same body as yours or the same lifestyle as yours. So don't follow other people who you see as healthy. Don't follow their what they eat in a day or lifestyle tips to the T, because your body might need different things, and you and your doctors or whoever guides you with that aspect will know a lot more about what you need and what fuels you than a random person on social media doing the best for them. So just take everything with a pinch of salt. And also hydrating, but make sure you're drinking enough water a day. I try to leave a glass or bottle of water next to my bed. So whenever I wake up in the morning, I try and have a glass or some or at least a little bit of water, just so I start the day hydrated. And I find it actually helps me focus and think better, just because I am hydrated, and it's one of the first things I try to do in the morning. So yeah, obviously physical health, sleep, eating, trying to eat well, moving your body, hydrating. And I know you might think as well movement is going to the gym every day, and to some people it is, but it's so important to have a rest from doing that. And also, movement could just be getting up and doing like a YouTube video. That's what I do. I do a lot of my exercising at home, or like getting up and going on a walk in the morning or something like that. So yeah, you know what's best for you. So do what's best for you physically. And don't, again with the exercise thing, just because somebody else did these exercises to get a flat stomach or whatever, doesn't mean it will work for you, because everybody has different body types and different genetics, and everybody is beautiful in their own way, and everything will work differently for different people. Just take everything with a pinch of salt. Okay. We also have emotional self-care. That can just be like setting boundaries, crying when you're upset, and if you're upset and need to cry, just cry. I don't care who you are, you can cry. It's fine. Because sometimes you need to. Just let it out. Set boundaries with people. If you need to cry, cry. Talk things out with people. Like, if something's upsetting you with your friend, message or call them like, hey, this really upset me. Can we talk about it? Or like, I'm really sorry we fell out over this. Can we try and solve it? Because it actually does so much good for your mental health and for the other person's as well. So highly recommend those. When I feel myself getting stressed out over stuff, I have to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, let's meditate, let's do some mindfulness colouring, let's just take a break, because sometimes I get so overwhelmed and put so much pressure on myself. I have to take a step back and be like, no, let's talk about it, let's journal or something like that, let's just think it through. Right. Going on from that, your mental health. When you need to take breaks, take breaks. Rest is so important, and I know for me, every time sometimes a lot of the time when I do try and take a rest, I do think, oh, but I could be being so much more productive. I could be doing this, doing that, and it's like, actually, that can burn you out if you carry on working and carry on working and carry on working. Just take a rest. Just take a step back and be like, okay, I'm gonna have a night to myself, put my favourite movie on, have a rest. It's fine. It can do you a lot more good than damage taking rest. So honestly, if you need a break, take a break. You deserve it. I was literally about to say, have a break, have a Kit Kat, but no free promotions here. No, thank you. Also, with your mental health, learning new things, like I find it just for helping your brain, learning new things, like whether it's just like learning new facts, learning to play a new instrument, learning a new language, it kind of keeps your brain stimulated and just keeps you awake and things like. And I find it it's just quite refreshing to learn new things and things you don't know, because it kind of just adds to your character and adds to you. And instead of just feeling like, instead of just like getting burnt out because you're doing the same things on repeat every day, it's like, oh, actually, I'm learning something new. This is quite fun. Like, it's quite refreshing. And also with a big one for mental health is your negative thoughts. Right, I have a lot to say about this one. I used to, years ago, have so many negative thoughts, and it used to affect me in such a bad way that I got to such a really bad place. And I've kind of learned now that whenever I get a negative thought, to challenge them. So for example, if I had a thought like, you're not doing well today, I would then say back to my brain, obviously you don't have to say it out loud, you can say it in your head, but you want to say it out loud, nobody's stopping you. But if if my brain said to me you're not doing well today, I'll be like, no, actually, I am doing great today. I'm doing really well, thank you. And same if you you get any thoughts like that, you did that badly, be like, no, I didn't. I tried my best, that was good. Or your friends don't like you. You could be like, no, actually, they do like me. My friends love me. Just basically whatever your brain tells you, tell it the opposite. And your negative thoughts will just start to fade out, because you're telling all your negative thoughts, no, that's not true. So then instead of believing them, you're challenging them and then believing the new things that you're saying, and it's really, really helpful. And also the last two parts of self-care we have are spiritual self-care and social self-care. So spiritual self-care is praying, meditating, journaling, nature walks, and obviously spiritual things will mean very different things to everybody. So for me, it's trying to read my Bible every day, or praying every day, things like that. And also going to church, or listen, or watching services online. But for other people, you might have different ways of being spiritual. I find meditating really helps, so does journaling. Nature walks is a big one. Honestly, If you've been in, like, because I'm on study leave at the moment, and I keep getting stressed, it's like, actually, you just need to go outside. I just need to go outside, go on a walk, and take a breath, and I feel a lot better. So obviously, with a spiritual one, just you will kind of know what your spirituality means to you, and so that's a very wide aspect. I'm not going to go into loads of it because you will know what you find best in that aspect, but social wise as well. So social self-care is like choosing uplifting company. So if you find that you're hanging around with friends or just people that make you feel really shit and make you feel like you're not enjoying your time with them, or like you're just not yourself around them, they're not worth it. Find friends that encourage you to follow your goals and that lift you up and that you enjoy being around. I've had like loads of friends in the past that like I'm and a lot of friends that I'm no longer friends with, and the way I kind of see it now is that I would rather be alone than surrounded by a lot of people and feel lonely, because I try and be my own best friend and my biggest supporter. I know it's extremely hard, but yeah, I would rather be by myself and support and uplift myself than be around loads of people and feel like the loneliest person in the room. Keep that in mind. Also, another thing with social is say no when needed. If people are asking you to go out for like to do something you don't want to do, or are kind of testing your boundaries, you can say no. You can be like, no, obviously you can word it politely. You can be like, no, sorry, that's not for me. No, sorry, thanks for the invite. Like, that's not stopping you. But again, with self-care, no, there's not one size that fits everybody. And what might help and recharge you might not work for somebody else. So you will know what's best for you. You will know what helps you feel like your best self and encourage and uplift you. And the same for everybody else. Everybody is different, and different things work for different people. Just keep that in mind. And also, I think self-care can be quite hard, especially when it is like saying no to people you care about. It's just like, oh, it can be very easy to people please, especially when it's your friends. But it's okay to say no. It's okay. Obviously, I wouldn't. If your friends do keep inviting you out and you're kind of saying no to push them away, that's a bit different. I've kind of gone on a bit of a tangent here. But it's okay to say no if you don't really want to do something. And also, I think some people don't realise that there's actually like a hard side to self-care, like saying no to the people you care about, and also like realising, oh, actually, I went through something really traumatic. Maybe I do need to go to therapy and face the tough truths in my life and kind of just talk it through that. I mean, I've done this online therapy before, and it did honestly really help me. I can't talk to the in-person one because I haven't actually gone yet, but I want to at some point. But it is tough to kind of recognise that maybe you need professional help just to get over something hard in your life. But I don't know if you guys have seen online, but you know when there's like a cup of like red wine, and then like let's say that's your trauma, but then the more water you pour into it to try to heal, the more the red kind of fades as you heal, and the more you kind of like pour goodness into it. So if you need to get professional help, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, go and help yourself. Like, it could do wonders. But also, I think another hard part is kind of cutting out distractions and creating new routines. So like for me, it's just like I know I probably spend way too much time on social media, as a lot of people can relate to. And I try and set limits, but a lot of the time, because I know how to change the limit, it just doesn't work, especially because I'm on study leave at the moment. And I was like, oh, I could just spend another hour, I've got ages. And then I end up not being as productive in other aspects. So while it might be comfortable to do some things as well, like it might be comfortable to scroll on your phone for hours, things like that. Self-care might be putting your phone down and finally like reading the book you wanted to read, or doing your laundry, or like even like having a shower or something. It can, just because things feel comfortable, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the best for you. And while it can feel great to kind of just spend an extra hour in bed, or just scroll for hours on social media, or even if you're saying to yourself, it's fine, I had breakfast this morning. This is really me calling myself out here. Just like I always are like, for breakfast the other day, I was like, oh, it's fine, I had breakfast. I had a couple of digestive biscuits. Like, yeah, was it good that I like had something for breakfast in the morning? Yes. Should I have probably had something a lot more healthier and a lot more filling? Yeah. But also keep in mind that discipline is also a form of self-care, especially for your future self. If you're like trying to set new habits and make new routines, it can be so much better for your self-care if you kind of like say to yourself, no, I'm not going to spend that extra 10 minutes on social media. I'm going to get up and do an exercise video instead. But you need to kind of have the discipline to say to yourself, no, I'm not going to do what I used to do. I'm going to go and do something new. Like, I think I always see this quote on social media, but it's like, not changing is choosing the path you're on. And it's like, for example, if you're spending hours and hours on social media and you in your head want to, let's use A-levels for an example. If you want to pass your A-levels, but you're spending hours on social media instead of revising, you're telling yourself, oh, I'll go revise in a bit. If you don't change to revise, then you're just going to be stuck on social media, and then probably possibly not pass because you haven't said to yourself, no, I'm turning my phone off, let's go do an hour of revision. And it's so important to kind of have that discipline with yourself. I'm going to force myself to do it, let's get it done. Because especially for your future self, it can be what can be comfortable in the present can lead to a hard future. And so look out for your future self as well. I think actually maybe this isn't the best for my future self. Well, it might feel great now. It might not be the best thing to do in the long run. When I do go on my phone in the morning, because I actually bought an alarm clock just so it stops me going on my phone straight away. But one thing I did, I bought like a physical alarm clock, like an actual clock, and I set my alarm to wake up on that. And then I put my phone the opposite side of the room, and then I have put an alarm on my phone for when I can go on my phone in the morning. So then I just start getting ready after the first alarm went off. And then once the other one goes off, I then put like my music on, or like usually I put my Bible app on and listen to the Bible while I'm getting ready and stuff in the morning. But also morning affirmations, especially if you're dealing with negative thoughts, write down like, I did it before. I had like 100 affirmations I wanted to say in the morning, and it didn't work because it was too many. So I recommend about 10. 20 if you want to push it, but let's say about 10. Look at yourself in the mirror in the morning and be like, I am beautiful. I love me. Those of other people love me. I'm so loved. I'm amazing. I am a hard worker. I am talented. And if you are dealing with like negative thoughts, it will kind of help you get through that because you're starting your day off telling yourself the opposite. So instead of starting your day off thinking, oh, I don't want to do today, this is going to be really shit. Look at yourself in the mirror and be like, this is going to be a really great day. I've got this. Everything's going to be amazing. And it can just be, really recommend it. And also, like, even when you don't want to cook yourself a decent meal, say to yourself, oh, actually, health-wise, I kind of need to eat well, so let's just eat something decent. And also, don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself grace when you need it. Because I know for me as well, I put so much pressure on myself saying, I need to revise A-levels, do my podcast. I want to learn to play the guitar. I want to learn Italian. I want to exercise every day. And when I don't do those things, I kind of start to beat myself up. And I've had to start to say to myself, no, actually, I did great today. I tried my best. I didn't get everything done. That's fine. I can try again tomorrow and the day after that. And it's fine. And then I think another hard thing is, especially, like, I find it's really hard to ask for help. And it can actually be a form of self-care, recognizing that you need help and to ask people for it. Because a problem shared is a problem halved. So even just like praying to God or like writing to the universe or talking to your best friend about it, like having the problem kind of off your back helps a lot. So I just want you all to have a little bit of a think about what your self-care might look for you right now. Are you kind of like pressuring yourself into, oh, I need to have a bath every week. I need to have a really lovely candlelit bath. I need to eat all these things I see online, go to the gym every day. Or is there like, so think about what that looks like for you currently. And also kind of reflect on if there's an area in your life where you're kind of neglecting yourself. So are you kind of not doing as much things? Are you kind of like not spending as much time with friends? Are you not maybe eating as well? Or like moving as much as you should be? Even if it is just going on a walk, like you can start small and grow, like it's fine. Just I find getting into a habit of doing like a 5-minute YouTube video every week or something is a lot easier than being like, I'm going to do a half an hour or an hour workout every day. So after this episode, take like 5 minutes, check in with yourself. What do you think you need more of? And what's one way you can care for yourself today? So think back to like how there was like the physical self-care, emotional self-care, mental self-care, spiritual self-care, and social self-care. Think about if there's any aspect that you can do. And I know for me, I used to leave all my work till like late at night, and then be doing it at like 9 or 10 p.m. It's like actually I should be using that time to kind of having a break and spending time with myself and my friends. So now I only do revision between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. So it gives me quite a while to get the work done. Then after like 8 p.m., because I usually get to bed about 10ish, it gives me like 2 hours to kind of like take a step back, sort myself out, do things I want to do. And I find I really recommend it. And also, self-care isn't a trend, it's a life practice. So it's completely okay if yours doesn't look like somebody on social media you follow, if yours doesn't look like everybody else's. Everybody's will look different. Feel free to message me or comment any of your like realistic self-care wins or the tough parts you struggle from. I'd love to hear from you all. So the next episode as well should be out really, really soon. You'll see me very soon, guys. Have an amazing week, and I love you all so much, and thank you all so, so much for listening.